or the mind as a very cruel master, is that awareness.
I am the commander of this house. I decide if there's a
Good luck.
contagion. I decide what I do.
So that's a bomber.
Yeah, I had a feeling that he might be one, but yeah, that's another. So there you go, Maureen. Now you got.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a special evening because that's we got 2 Zoom bombers got through. Yeah.
That was the funniest Zoom bomber. I don't know. I think what he said was perfect. The perfect description of the self thinking it's in control. There is no awareness. All of that is knowing. There's no one that knows that that's just the dream. Anyway. Yeah, I'm not following you, Michael, either. It sounds like a lot of head knowledge and trying to combine a bunch of stuff. There's no one. It's simple.
But people are saying, who's saying that? Alice, are you saying that? I don't know who's saying that. Zoe, you're saying that, but there are people that are puzzled and have questions. So you can only speak to them with various strategies or knowledge and ways to approach things. And all of that is in the language of dualism. So these great masters had great things to say and strategies, even the non-dual teachings of Jesus or the Bible or the great sages from the past.
And Michael, part of part of what's happening here is of course all the things you're saying in some way is included, but what's happening here is that everything you're speaking about is a kind of illusion. Like the illusion is included as well as everything is included. Right. Basically, the illusion that there is a way to control the mind, the illusion that there's a way for one individual person to help another person, like what's fundamentally shared in this message is that there is absolutely no doer. There's no possibility of doing something, and it's already done. Like the thing that we imagine that we are not is actually whole and complete. I mean, that's the simple message.
That was beautiful, Maureen, I have to say.
Is Michael still here?
Yes, it was. It was absolutely beautiful. You have to include that it's already done and that we're already whole. You can't just say we're nothing. It blows people away.
There's no word. So pick your favorite. Oh, Michael's back. Should I let him in? Okay. Joking. I joke.
What comes up for me is that what I'm hearing is an explanation, and it comes across as a story, and that's an ongoing thing that we're trying to explain that which is not explainable or is unknowable, and there's just lots of theories about it.
Yeah.
It gives me kind of a headache.
Yeah, it's difficult. I noticed inside physically it was difficult not to react and, to be like respectful of the sharing, which I want to be, but it was difficult to sit still and not say anything.
The kinesiology, I don't mean to go into a big thing, but it's just fantastic in a way, how just a wave of illness will kind of come through or whatever. It's just remarkable.
And the reactions happen or not, it's just like it just like whatever comes up. It just flows.
It's light and easy, isn't it, Zoe? I mean, I can hear that in your in your voice. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what I get from Michael is that he's wanting to help other people, or to fix people or help people. And that's not what this is about. And I notice in myself, I love this whole message, the whole thing, but I still notice that wanting to help people sneaking in. It's like I've been programmed from it for it from when I was very small, that you have to look after other people. And and that strokes the ego, doesn't it, when you do that? So it sort of helps you to feel better about yourself. But the more I go on with embracing this, the less I see any place for trying to change what actually is, which means trying to change other people. They are who they are. It is what it is. It's not my job to fix them, change them.
And also it overlooks, Faith, that was so lovely. It overlooks that they're already whole and complete.
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
we're trying to teach or fix or
Yeah.
whatever, it overlooks the most.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm just saying it can be so subtle that, I can sort of get it, they're already whole and complete, but the programming of a lifetime kicks in and wants to help. Yeah.
But this message that we're pointing to, that it's whole and complete, is, I mean, it's a nice message, but, and if you put everything up against that message, then that's fine to do. But I'll always come back and say, that's a message coming from some person, it's coming from something, and it's just a message. And I'll just say, you'd have to show me the truth of that message. I like the message, I like it a lot, but it's as a truth. If I hold it as a truth, or anybody does, then we're sort of stuck.
Yeah, I sort of touched on that last time, Dawn. I don't know if anybody understood that, but it occurs to me that I use this message as a concept. And it's way better than the concepts I used to use. But I'm still aware that I'm sort of using it as a belief system. Anyway, I can't change that. I don't know. I'd like to change it probably, but it is what it is. Yeah.
But eventually, I think you will see it for yourself, maybe just in spurts, but it will open up. And I think I have seen it open up for you in these sessions, Michael, Don, if I'm not mistaken, that you've seen it beyond a concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that helping is wrong either, because that's this too. So it's a really tricky balance. It's easy to say, like Don said, that, there's a theory behind no theory. But if helping is what you're doing, that's this too. So if someone is using knowledge to help somebody, that's this too. And I think by making it seem like there's nothing there, and that's fine too, but it sounds like people are still talking here, taking a position, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I think you have to be careful when you take a position, because what you're really doing, I've said this too, I've joked with Peter about this many times, you know, the ultimate message, which is not definable, is silence, right? Silence, nothing, say nothing. I don't mean anybody here say nothing. I mean, silence is probably as close to being what is that we're talking about. So anything that we're sharing tonight, anything, is still a position you're taking, even if it's the closer position to what Michael's theme is about. It's still a position. And I think we have to be very careful when people are trying to help. In faith, in all respect to you, if you feel like not helping, or however you couch that works better for you, then more power to you. But I think we have to be careful when we talk about people that are trying to help, as if that's another story, that they're trying to help, and that's so. I just want to make sure that when we talk and we're sharing things, or the other Michael was mentioning a bunch of stuff, and that we're all coming in and talking about how we see it and what our position is. I think we just have to be very mindful of what we're sharing, because what you're sharing, I believe, unless it's pure silence, is still a position, and you have to keep that in mind. So that's my 2 cents for the last 6 weeks.
Thank you, Alan. And you and I have talked about this a number of times, and I resonate with what's being said and what comes up. And yes, this is a position that helping presupposes that somebody needs to be helped. And so then you have two people, one who makes a decision that there is another one who needs to be helped. And so that paradigm may create some kind of dissonance with the idea that it's all perfect as it is, or that it is already, or just that we need to do something about it. So, you know, helping is kind of like, doesn't really gel that well with the paradigm of it is what it is, and it is already.
It does, because helping is this too. And if you say that the person that's suggesting the help means somebody else needs help, that's this too. In other words, you can't avoid it, no matter what. If there's dissonance there, theoretically, that's this too. So I'm just saying, no matter what we talk about here tonight, no matter what position you take, if it's not just sitting here in silence, it's verbiage, it's a position, period. Or we can say that that's this too. You can't lose and you can't win. Well, let me say you can't lose. So to me, whether there's dissonance or not, or whether someone needs help or doesn't need help, or you shouldn't give help or you should give help, it's all the same. It doesn't matter, because everything is this, according to the themes that I've been listening to for the last few years here. So it doesn't matter. Everything is, I'll say it again. This is not to you, Peter. This is just to the group. Everything, if you say anything that comes out of yourself verbally, it's a position, period. Silence is, we can say, is a position too, but at least silence. I remember, Michael, we had a meeting a few months back, because I listened to these a lot before I go to bed each night. And you talk about all these different words that come so close to describing it. But at the end of the day, they're all still descriptions. They're all not it, because there's still a verbiage. It's just a happening, as we all know. So again, just be mindful of when you're sharing that if you're sharing something, it is a position. And we're talking about something that's theoretically not a position, or else we should just say everything that we talk about here is it. Everything, 100% of the time, is always this, and you can't avoid it. So that's why no matter what anybody says here is perfect.
Excellent, excellent. The void speaks and the void remains. Thank you, Ellen.
Pleasure. I've been needing to say that for about a month now. So it only took me a month to come around. Don brought up something about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was just dying to chime in, and I never did. So Don, just so you know, you helped inspire that.
Well, Alan, one of the associations when you were talking was that, I mean, I have a dear friend that always says, if action is to be taken, action will occur. And like some idea that the mind has to be in a particular place in order for some gesture from one to a quote unquote, really from one to one, from the one to the one. I mean, that it doesn't necessarily have to be fueled by some idea that I'm a good person, you need help, and I'm going to help you. Like it doesn't have to be fueled like that. I mean, helping can just occur from all different motivations, or some idea, oh, I better not help anymore, that's bad, or it's okay to help, or I mean, exactly what you're saying, I guess, which is any idea that anything is wrong or bad or whatever. It's just another part of this. That idea isn't true. It's just a part of that. It's just, I don't know how to describe that, but yeah, I mean, I don't think the brain can conceive of, like, say when Nkosi comes and talks, if somebody said, well, Nkosi, why do you do that? I mean, I'm guessing he might not say anything. I mean, I don't know, but like, I don't think he's doing it to help us, you know? And who knows if it helps or doesn't help, but anyway.
I think he is doing it to help us, and he may not agree with that. I don't know, but it's this, whatever he's doing. But when I see him come on each week, as far as I'm concerned, he's spreading loving kindness, right? He's just a loving kindness incarnate. And maybe it's intentional that he's helping us, or maybe it's not. I don't know. It'd be a good question to ask him. But either way, it's this, right? So that was my point earlier, is what I was saying. He could be wanting to help, and he maybe isn't wanting to help. Not that he's not wanting to help, but he's maybe just doing it unconsciously because that's just who he is. But either way is this. And that's what I was saying earlier about when Michael was talking, that a lot of people are jumping in and taking a position about it, which is great. That's this too. But again, I just, to me, I think that I love silence. I feel like the truth is in the silence. And I feel like if you're going to take a position when someone else is speaking, that's fine. But just recognize that that's now a position. It's sort of like kind of going into duality as far as I'm concerned. Non-duality is the silence. So if you add something to it, we can call it duality, but we can also say it's this. You can't escape it. It's the Tao. It's all the Tao. It's always the Tao. And so I think, anyway, again, I'll let me mute myself now.
I just to the suggestion, what would Nkosi do? I'm going to try. I would imagine he would say something like, there isn't already nobody there. Like there isn't a me there that needs help, is what he might say.
He would say, I know he said it to me several times, that this is just what seems to appear, you know, when you're talking. He's not helping me. I don't really get an idea that there's anybody there helping me. I get there just words that are coming out of his mouth. I mean, you know, those are not things he just says. Those are things that I experience in my heart when I'm talking with him.
But you don't feel like he's helping you, Alice? I mean, when you see him, are you not inquiring to feel better? And in a way, and I'm not saying this to put you on the defensive, I'm actually really curious.
I might feel he's helping me, but I don't think he has any idea that he's helping me.
There's a point where the individual helper does appear and then drops away. And there is just the presence, call it emanations, emanations of caring or loving kindness or happiness. that are there, or the response, a tropism to suffering, and seeing people suffering and wanting to be there in whatever way, but there's no one there that's wanting it. It's simply the natural state, the prior condition, if you like, call it the divine presence or grace. So the thing is, and I think Alan, to me, is very articulate in separating out the words that are spoken need to be considered. Is it a story? Is it a structure? Am I reacting to the words? Are these my words? Is this the human? Is this the me? Or is the words coming are kind of downloaded words, noumenal, or that are not associated with any one or any individual? So I think those are present. And when I hear or experience Nkosi speak, I see it's an emanation of the divine. And whether or not there's an entity, Nkosi is of no interest or not there as far as this hearer or seer. So if finding a way, for me, I'm finding a way to recognize there's a residual conditioning identity, a story that Alan spoke to very directly. And there's that void that's speaking, and it may be in the form of a conditioned entity or expression, but understand we're wanting to, as someone said, to love all peoples, not for themselves alone, but for what there is of God in them. It's recognizing the divine, the presence in all. So, we're stumbling around that. Some are clearer in it than others, to my observation.
So this is a meeting about not knowing. That there's no one to know anything already.
There may be, as you say, and I could agree to that, Michael, that there's no one to know anything, but there is pure knowing. There is wisdom. There is there's radical understanding. There's pure knowledge for no one, for no thing. And I think the universe is composed of that. But that's me saying something, and those are words describing it. But there is an ultimate knowing or wisdom, or even though there's no one there to acknowledge it or trade on it.
Hi, Nkosi, welcome.
Hi, Nkosi.
Nkosi,
Hey,
Hi,
Nkosi.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Nkosi.
we got some
Nkosi.
questions for you.
I shared with everyone the video you sent me singing to your baby.
Oh, wow.
Is that
Wonderful.
okay?
Nice. Very nice.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Thank you so much. It's okay.
Beautiful.
Hi, Nkosi.
Hello.
Hello. I was wondering why you come here.
Well, I was gonna say I never came here, but well, I will answer you. I'll give you an answer. Well, I cannot say exactly, it's just what's happening. It's just what seems to happen, So
you-
this, sorry,
Well, I was gonna say, are you trying to help us?
I'm not trying to help anybody. You know, it's just, it's like daily activities. They keep on just happening. Going to the loo, going to the store to buy something and coming back. You know, it's just like that. So there's no intention to save or to help anyone.
And
So
Kosi,
it's just, it seems to be happening, and it's beautiful.
and Kosi, do you know that there are people on this call who feel that they're being helped?
I do.
Yeah, yeah, that's also okay. That's also okay too, and it's okay. It's beautiful. There's nothing wrong or right. Yeah. If they seem to be some people who are getting help, that's okay. It's also what's happening. There's nothing wrong or right with that too. Any questions?
Nkosi, I think
Yes.
Michael asked me the name of your child.
You read my mind.
What is the name of your child? I think I forgot.
Okay. The first one is Michael-Nkosi, which means God's plan. And the second one is Letugukanya, meaning the bringer of light. Yeah, those are the two names. They are very long names.
He's got a long destiny.
Yeah. Yeah, wonderful.
Well, I still have a problem with your name, so I don't.
Don't bother with this one.
What's the meaning of names if there is all one? What is the, why do we name each other?
Well, I would say there is no why, it's just what's happening. It's also everything, wholeness expressing as that. So everything is okay. Everything is beautiful. The labels may be given. Also, the labels themselves are just wholeness or everything appearing as labels. So this doesn't try to get rid of the story. It doesn't try to get rid of what seems to be a separate self, because it doesn't see that. It sees the unity of all things. You know, it's just also this expressing as a person, or what seems to be a person, also expressing as what seems to be the story. So there's no real story. There's no real separate story, and there's no real separate self. It's just everything expressing as that. So everything is beautiful and okay. And this may appear to say, but I don't get it. That's this too appearing as that. It may say, oh, now I get it. I'm about to get it. It may say, well, I think I have to make my own research regarding this. No, I'm not satisfied, but that's just wholeness, everything appearing as that. So there's nothing outside of this. There's nobody outside of this. There's just this. There is no escaping this.
I think because it takes it a while for those still experiencing conditioned thinking to expand further in consciousness to what you're speaking. Your words speak to someone that has our attention, certainly my attention, and yet there's the recognition that it takes a while for others. And I think this group is composed of many people who are very well on the way to that state that you're demonstrating. You have a light of awareness and wisdom in that state. And we're blessed with it. I could say I'm blessed with it.
Oh, wonderful. That's beautiful.
But there's also a calling for the recognition that to be patient for those that are trailing behind, or those that are still caught up in the dualism, but there is again the recognition that those apparently trailing behind, or those caught up in the dualism, is also it too, and that's okay too, and that's simply just an evolution.
Yes. Yes.
I assure you there'll be some trying times with your son before he catches on to the idea of the realization of the meaning of his name. Yeah, so, good luck with that, because I've been through that. But that name is a wonderful guide, and his daddy is a wonderful mentor in that path for him and for all of us. We're blessed with that.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah.
I appreciate you, Nkosi.
I was gonna speak, or I'm wondering about the idea of trailing behind. The way it's seen here is that it's all beautiful as it is, as Nkosi tends to say. And this distinction, or there's something in me that doesn't like the projection that we have to get from here to there, and we have to make an effort to progress. And I see it more on a horizontal plane, that it's all just life expressing itself. I'm basically using your words, Nkosi. It is as it is, and it's beautiful as it is, and it's not that, we create these, the mind creates hierarchies, that this is better than this, or this is more advanced than this, and we ought to get from here to here. We just are.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I could say endlessly, what I say, the conditioned aspects of me are also it and the absolute. But there is, until that dissipates, until that's gone, and that recognition is there, it's not there, and that's okay. There's still a Michael that's still caught up in some dualism, in separation and divisiveness. And that's okay for me. But I could say till I'm blue in the face, this is it. This is the absolute. There's no one here. There's no Michael. And that I would be, you see, to me, there's a sense of honesty here for me. There's still a residual Michael that persists, good or bad, and that I could see that's okay. I mean, you could throw sticks and stones at it and okay, call me what you like, but it's there, and until it's dissipated in a transcendent beam of light, it's not there yet. For me speaking.
So, Nkosi, everything that's happening here, all this conversation is just, it's just what's happening. It doesn't have any meaning, any value. There's whatever is said, it doesn't matter, right? It's just,
Yeah, it is just everything, including the one who's asking the question. That's
yeah,
everything.
it's just a story. Everything is a story. Everything everybody says it's a story. I mean, you can't even say a word without it being part of the story. So it's not really real, right?
Yeah, yeah. And there's nothing wrong or right with it.
Exactly.
It's
Yes.
just what's happening.
Yeah.
It's going nowhere. It's beautiful. That's way too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay.
Wow.
In sound and silence, there's no, it doesn't matter. There's silence is not better than sound. Sound is not better than silence. It just is what it is. Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's no separation.
Any last comments or questions before we close out this evening?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, each and every one of you in Nkosi. Thank you so much. Have a good night, everybody.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Love,
Bye-bye.
love, love.